Hello, Taurus. So I thought I would do your read today. Let's see what comes out. I've already shuffled these, but I will shuffle them again on camera because I cannot. When people don't shuffle on camera, I'm always like, did you pull these cards out like that on purpose? But then again, I also understand, there's malfunctions to things. So in any case, what can we get for Taurus? The Taurian. Survival. Coming out strong. This is number 19. There's a whole bunch of sharks in the water, just so you know. There's like 6 different sharks in this water. And that man is all alone on the boat, hoping he's not bleeding anywhere. Like, I hope I didn't get a paper cut this morning or anything, because Jesus, that's a lot of sharks in the water. Okay. So, celebration is coming out directly after survival. I feel like you got away from whatever situation that was isolating you like this. There's some type of I do want to say ethereal. It's not like a literal birthday party or anniversary celebration. That's not what this is. This is surviving like cancer or surviving a near death experience. That's what this is. This was a close call, and this was saving that close call from being successful. I just did a reading for Capricorn. There was something about crisis being averted with them. You may be dealing with a Capricorn to some degree. I don't know. Here's loss in the upright. So you survived. You survived something that could have been a huge major. I feel like this could have been a loss to your livelihood, a loss to your life in a certain way, shape, or form. Not literally like you're gonna die, okay? Not like that, but this is something that would have changed your trajectory significantly. So let's just say maybe you got let's just make it real simple, an infection, right? Got an infection in your finger because you got a paper cut, right? That paper cut got infected and it could have turned into gangrene that needed to be chopped off, right? But instead of it being gangrene, I'm just using the color of the card, excuse my examples. Instead of it being gangrene, you somehow you survived that. Your finger healed up, everything is good, you're celebrating, and the loss that you took has more to do with the fact that you were still injured in the first place. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you're now back to your, I don't know why I want to say normal bushy-tailed with bells on your toes. And if that's a thing for you, then take it. If not, then leave it. Yeah, here's self-esteem. And that's at the top of the read here. This is number 16. So your self-esteem was threatened in a major way. Like this is number 19. This is number 16. Having something or somebody converge upon something that you find precious or that you don't take for granted, like your finger, mobility of your fingers. Be very thankful that you have fingers and that you can move them, right? This was like a wake-up call. This was a reality kind of take an inventory of the reality, Taurus. The celebrating is something that you need to do without losing your head, because there's an energy here with the self-esteem that says to me, yes, you're lucky that you did not lose your finger, but you're also really lucky that your self-esteem was high enough to get away from this, whatever you're celebrating here. So I'm going to put that in a different context so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. Instead of celebrating the fact that you recovered, celebrate the fact that you have the means to do so in the first place, because that's what was taken in the first place, right? You got this infection, and it really affected you, and you could have lost a finger. The rest of your life you could have gone without this finger, right? I don't know why I'm seeing on here there's there's hands, like a whole bunch of hands, like a whole bunch of fingers. And for some reason I feel like something like tapped you on your shoulder and just said, hey, think about this. I'm keeping this as general as possible so that the message can reach more people. But I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. Your self-esteem needs to be high enough that you don't cut your finger in the first place. You don't need to be running with scissors, is what I'm saying. The fact that you survived that, yes, it is something to celebrate. However, your finger is still bandaged up, although it is, it's going to be all right. It doesn't mean that. So when we are, let me say that as a human, right? When I look at the fallout of war and all the people that survived the war, my heart goes out to them for multiple reasons. Not just because they survived the war, but also because I know how much loss they took going through it, which is many times the frustration of having self-esteem but not being in an environment that lends itself to the continued well-being and self-esteem of all people involved, all human life involved. Nobody needs to be sacrificed. If we just didn't go to war, then nobody's finger would be cut, then nobody would be recovering, and we wouldn't have a reason to celebrate all the people that survived. Understand what I'm saying? That this is a great reading, but I also need you to understand that there's an underlying celebration because of survival. It's got a melancholy feel behind it. That is, this could have been really bad. So take it with a grain of salt. If that's not your situation, then don't apply it. I'll give you one more example because it's coming out right now. In your 30s, many people start feeling the pressure to get married, to have babies, to get your life together, right? Get your ish together, right? This is an understanding that either way it goes, you're going to make some decisions. And those decisions have everything to do with your self-esteem. So if you wanted, when you were younger, to focus on your career, you don't want to worry about a relationship, you don't want to worry about kids, you don't want to, so you didn't do any of those things, and now you're in your 30s, and 40 is creeping up on you, and you've not done any of those things. Yes, you could have survived without having a child, or considered yourself lucky because you have the greatest career and blah, blah, blah. You could be celebrating those things, but you also lost that time frame, that space, that energy, that momentum towards having children, getting established nice and early, having a long-lasting relationship. All of those things also have to do with self-esteem. So that's what I'm saying, Capricorn, is that you could do it opposite. Could do all those things really nice and early to survive, just because you feel like you were thrown in there. You had children early, committed early. This is number 27, commitment in my hand. You celebrated life. You did all the things that you want, and now you're later on in life contemplating the things that you didn't get to do because you were a family person. Maybe you didn't get to travel. Maybe you didn't get to pursue some career or go to school to do something that you wanted to do. Those have everything to do with self-esteem. And it doesn't mean that you're too old to do it now. It just means you've got to make some decisions about the ways in which you would like to celebrate moving forward. Are you going to rate your own self-esteem as being more important than celebrity? Or is that little nagging voice in the back of your head just pushing you over the edge to the point where you have to touch the sharp. I have to touch the hot stove. I cannot keep my fingers to myself. I don't care if I might get cut. I'm going to slice this on the slicer at the deli as fast as I can to be efficient. You know what I'm saying? There's a rational way to look at everything. And I think that this has been a learning curve, a bit of a learning curve, Taurus. I do want your self-esteem to be noticed, though. I'm going to put this over here. I was going to put it with survival, but I'm putting it with self-esteem. This is vulnerability, number 13 and number 16. And I'm saying that because, look, the judgment, divine guidance is at the bottom of the deck. It kind of hit the survival card a little bit. Your self-esteem is always going to be vulnerable to a certain extent. And that's the extent to which you let it be vulnerable. We're all victims of it. I know I sure as hell am, okay? But it doesn't mean that it can't be, you can't judge in a different way moving forward. That vulnerability is that underlying melancholy kind of word of caution, I suppose. It's just letting you know that you need to be careful. That once you've cut your finger once, maybe don't go back and do it again and again and again and again. Like, maybe don't. Let's say we did and don't. Okay? I just shuffled that some more and divine guidance just came out. Again, wants to be on that survival card. You need to be able to survive judgment of other people, places, and things without it affecting your own self-esteem and worth, your ability to stand alone, to heal, to process loss without having to go back and re-traumatize yourself, I guess. Something that took me a really long time. I mean, I'm still working on it. We're all a work in progress, so no judgment there. That's so weird. I just had the same exact. You really need to go watch a Capricorn read. These actually came out right here for the Capricorn, literally. Inner authority is peeking out. That's the second judgment. This is Guardian Archangel Michael right here. Then we've got number 14, inner authority, and these two judgment cards popping out. So the vulnerability of your inner authority needs to be called into a question so that in the future, this loss is not even something that you need to worry about. It isn't even it's a non-issue. That is the third. We got a straight, okay. Capricorn, this read is like real specifically for you. I don't know why it's in the Taurus reading, but you and Taurus are sharing some energies. Taurus, flip the roles if that's the case. Taurus, you're sharing some real strong energies with a Capricorn right now. They had a double judgment. You have a triple. There's something about loss and judgment. Being vulnerable to your own self in a way that is going to be nurturing rather than degrading. If you are a man, I don't know why I feel the need to specify this. If you're a man watching this, understand that as men, you've been told by society, maybe your own family, probably by multiple lovers, that you need to be hard. You need to be a protector. You need to solve all my problems. You need to provide for me. You need to be hardened. You're not allowed to show emotion. You're the backbone. You're the spinal cord. So if we're going to tap into anything, we're going to be tapping on you. That's that tap on the shoulder. You need to understand that what makes somebody a strong character or an individual, no matter what gender they are, no matter what age, we all have feelings, we all have emotions. It's the way that you process those emotions, where, how, when, why you do all those things. Hardening yourself only hardens the world. You can go punch the living daylights out of a pillow, okay? Go to the gym and find a punching bag. Go berserk. But be careful not to hurt yourself. It's like being so angry that you punched the bag so hard that you broke your wrist or finger. That's not helpful. Nobody needs a broken wrist. Nobody needs vulnerable self-esteem that leads you to that level of rage, right? But there's also a need for you to temper how soft you're going to be. Because if you're too laid back, I mean, you understand what I'm saying, that there's a happy middle ground. There could be a happy medium at large if you were able to I'm just playing with you. That was a joke. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. It's a little bit don't be your own self-fulfilling prophecy unless it's in a great, good, fantastic, wonderful, uplifting way. Okay. Just don't. This is change coming out in the reverse at the bottom of the deck. I'm not going to take that, but that is kind of what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm saying. There's something about, there's a lot of repetition going on, and it's making you vulnerable. So if in the past you've hardened yourself to deal with the situation, maybe try softening yourself. If in the past you've been soft towards every situation, maybe try hardening yourself. Whatever you're doing, 3 is an odd number. Try doubling it. You'll be even more impressed by yourself, I promise. Okay? Feel like that's your read, Capricorn. Excuse me, I keep saying Capricorn because you need to go watch a Capricorn reading, Taurus. Anyway, Taurus, this is your reading. Hopefully it was enlightening on some level. Until we meet again.